a big one in there.
Wild.
This time they haven't fallen at all.
That's control, isn't it?
Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. The past week we've been on an adventure climbing the highest road in the world outside of the Himalayas at 5,000 metres. The road up is tough going with lots of elevation and a distinct lack of paving, i.e. a delightful mix of sand, washboard and gravel. Originally this was not our plan and we were going to continue on to Salta, then Acay, along the paved road to catch the carnival. As our bikes are not particularly adapted to gravel, mine has thin tyres and quite an aggressive position, while Tim's trailer acts as an anchor in any soft surface. We avoid the ripio or gravel sections as much as possible. We had automatically dismissed the idea of 200 kilometres of straight gravel, purgatory, having suffered enough on a particularly tough section that was only 80 kilometres before. It was only after several conversations with Mike, and upon meeting our new French friends, Diane and Timothée, that we realised how much of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity this could be. As it is winter in the Northern Hemisphere, we would most likely be the highest cyclists in the world at that moment, and to cycle higher than Mont Blanc would be a crazy thought. We both had never been this high, so we just wanted to see what it would be like, and how our bodies would cope. On top of this, the views were supposed to be stunning. We quickly got planning to work out what we would need to do, and how we should break it up. In Acay, we were at approximately 1,600 metres, with 3,400 metres difference to make up, so we wanted to make sure that we did not rush our ascent and burn out too early. The first day of gravel was extremely difficult, our biggest nemesis being washboard, sand, big stones and a mix of everything. This made us rather disheartened and apprehensive for what was to come, as we knew that this should be the easy section. We eventually made it to a tiny town where we found a great spot at the church. Tim and Mike got up to who knows what inside the church, while I set up my tent outside. The views were spectacular, with an immense canyon on our doorstep. We decided to improve the view by fashioning a shower from the tap outside, having a good scrub after a warm day. It was even a warm shower, with the pipes warmed from the day's sun. The next day was much better in terms of road surface, and I even found myself enjoying the riding. We were passing through a famous section of the road called the Quebrada de las Flechas, a geologist's dream, which is absolutely stunning, especially as we were able to actually cycle through it, not just look from a distance. We're currently about 30 kilometres into the Ripio. It's already pretty tough going, and we haven't even started climbing yet. And in the distance, we can see the climbing to come. We're currently at 1,800 metres, but we've got another 3,000 to go. It's going to be a long couple of days. Starting with a climb in the morning, which we immediately had to give up as we had a long descent straight after, we had a great day winding through the remote villages to a small town called Acay at 2,400 metres, where we were able to catch up with our lovely friends Diane and Timothée for dinner and some beers, and decided to ride together the day after. It was really great having some new friends along for the ride, with lots of new energy, and the kilometres flew by. I'd even accidentally made friends with the cutest Dalmatian who was riding along with us, although unfortunately he only had the legs for about 15 kilometres and he had to retire in the middle of nowhere, where we hope he is now okay and has made a new life for himself. We stopped for lots of photos and shenanigans, and Mike fancied a go on the natural log flume. Arse! Arse! Unfortunately, it was rather shallow, and Mike's mega sore arse may have taken a bit of a beating. We arrived to La Poma, where we started to notice our breathing a bit more, and decided to take a rest day, climbing the nearby hill as a warm-up for the days to follow.
I make it just under 3,000 to go, metres up.
Yeah.
And we've done 26 today of Ripio, and we did about 20-ish yesterday.
Yeah.
So 46, we're not doing too bad.
Yeah, we're getting there.
What do you reckon, Tim?
Well, it's having the time of my life.
We're nearly at 3,000 metres now. You can see in the background, we've got snow on top of the mountains, that's where we're heading. We just had a really long climb, about 300 metres, which felt good, but tomorrow we've got 1,000 kilometres of road, so it's going to be tough on the legs. We're in one of the most beautiful places in the world, and we just spent about 10 minutes taking pictures next to a cactus that looked a bit like a dick. Unfortunately, Diane had a salmonella problem, so the pair were unable to join us the day after for our climb, but we had the pleasure of Timote's company for a few kilometres. We only had 30 kilometres to cover, but the road was not in good shape. It was officially shut for cars, as a recent storm had collapsed some sections, although this did not stop two clever Argentinian tourists whose car we had to push out of a river. This was not what we needed, with 2,000 metres still to climb, and it took some persuading for them to turn back to the town and not continue along the road, which with hindsight was a great deal worse ahead. The going was very tough, and we had to take off our bags and walk several sections. So this is the road we've just come up on. This is the same road, the Route 40, that has been mostly tarmac all the way, and recent storms have just washed the gravel away. We just had to dismantle all our bikes, carry them up here. We're at about 3,700 metres, so we're starting to huff and puff a bit. Although we only cycled 30 kilometres, we were absolutely exhausted by the end of the day, where we camped next to a weird house with annoying llamas who tried to eat our tent. I wasn't sure at the time how we were supposed to do the same again the day after, feeling extremely worn out from the day, and fell asleep at around 9 p.m, mainly because it was so cold outside, because we were now at 4,000 metres. We woke up in the morning with ice on our tents, and I treated myself to porridge in bed, which acted conveniently as some great central heating. More tough riding followed, where I struggled personally with breathing, having to stop and walk at several sections. We eventually made it, although the 15 kilometres to the top took us just under 4 hours. After taking all of our proud photos, we had a spectacular descent on a road with miles and miles of switchbacks stretching out ahead of us. The descent we had was not easy, however, and was littered with difficult sandy sections and took us the rest of the day to complete. Yeehaw! This is the face of a man who's just hit asphalt after a 4,000 metre climb on Ripio. And another one. What a ripper. We arrived completely exhausted to San Antonio de los Cobres, the only town for miles around, to find that they had run out of water as their town pump had broken. Thirsty and tired, all we wanted was a drink and shower, but we would have to wait until the evening to satisfy our needs. The next day was spent watching Succession and recovering from the trauma of the day before we set off the day after to Salta. 4,080 metres, we're on the tarmac and we've got 130 kilometres to Salta. Hopefully all a complete freewheel, as we've got to drop 3,000 metres, so it should be a fun day. This was a 1 in a million opportunity to have 160 kilometres of just downhill through the incredible Quebrada de los Toros. Our experience, however, was slightly dampened by a headwind reminiscent of the gusty plains of Patagonia, but we played on as usual. We are now happy relaxing in Salta, looking forward to the next section, to our first border crossing in 300 kilometres to Bolivia. We have now spent just under 4 months in Argentina and are excited to experience a new country and culture. Thanks everyone again for watching and following our journey. Penis! Meat and 2 veg. Floppy cock. Cock and balls. Willy.